Welcome back to another episode of Home Sweet Home Cooking. My name is Rocky, I'll be your host, and my mother's sitting off to the side. Today's recipes are not full-on ready to eat, just go ahead and eat recipes. These are homemade seasonings, or what to make in case, or what to use for seasoning if you're in a pinch and you run out of something. The first one is my very own seasoned salt. Seasoned salt is basically, there's paprika and some onion and garlic and a little bit of salt and then some sugar in it. Why do they put sugar in salt? No. Bad Lowry's. So I make my own. And I make mine a little bit hotter. I call mine, my motorcycle club name is Mongo, so it's Mongo's Special Blend Fire Salt is what I call this. And this one doesn't really take measurements. I'll be using a measurement. It goes by parts. So today, 1 tablespoon will be 1 part. So you take a small bowl, and the first ingredient is 6 tablespoons, or 6 parts of kosher salt. 2, 3, 4, 5. The nice thing about parts is because you're mixing it to your size. If you want to mix a lot, you mix a lot. If you want to mix a little, you mix a little. And you don't have to worry about converting a 1/4 cup into a teaspoon into this or to that. So that's why I just go with parts. It makes it easier. 6 parts of, I use smoked paprika. You can use regular paprika if you'd like, but the smoked paprika is going to add a little more depth of flavor to it. This goes good on anything. Beef, on a burger, on chicken. If you want to put a little bit of this in the breading mix, knock yourself out. I put this on fish. I put this in tuna fish sandwiches to give it a little extra kick. Goes good on pork. This is actually a really good base for making a rub. I'll use this for most of the base, and then I'll add brown sugar to it. Maybe some thyme depending on what I'm cooking. Right, there's 6 parts of that. But my mother has this. She likes it. Yes?
That's good.
Alright, gotta put on.
I forget to use it, but it's good when I remember.
She has a drawer of seasonings, and then up in the cupboard she's got salt, pepper, and Lowry seasoned salt, so I moved my seasoned salt, up to that cabinet. Maybe she'll use some more of it. Alright, 3 parts of garlic powder. It's not gonna go well.
They didn't make the whole band out.
They didn't. Two. 3. 2 parts of onion powder. This one is a little bit old, so it's formed with some crunchies there. We'll call that 1 part, and we'll break this up a little bit. And that's just so it mixes a little more evenly. And the 2nd part of onion powder. And 1 part of cayenne. Yeah, this has a little snort to it, folks. It is fire salt for a reason. Yeah, it's a little heavy there. 1 part cayenne pepper. Don't rub your eyes after this. You're to the point now that you're gonna regret life if you rub your eyes. 1 part Chipotle powder. This stuff has a snort to it. Chipotle, it's a smoked jalapeno, so with the smoked chipotle, or the smoked jalapeno being the chipotle and the smoked paprika, you're going to get that rich smoky flavor. So if you put something on something and put it in the oven, you're going to add a little bit of a smokiness to it. And last for me, I use 1 tablespoon Ancho chili. You can use regular chili powder. I just happen to like the Ancho. It's a little milder. and I know what type of pepper it's coming from. If you just get chili powder from the store, you're gonna get whatever chili they can get their hands on to make it and put it in a blend. The Ancho, at least, has got consistency because it's all Ancho. And then you just give it a mix. And that's what you get. I mean, it's hot, but it's not that hot. Just shake it liberally. I'll reuse old seasoning jars. I've got one jar that's at home. That's a restaurant shaker for pizza for the red pepper flakes. Ground peppers, nice. And that thing huge. And I'll go through that in a month. I use this a lot, and it's just delicious. I'm gonna go ahead and get this put in a jar to do that. I'm gonna steal a piece of paper. I'm gonna roll it up just a little bit smaller than a jar. Put it in the jar and open up the top. And there's the funnel. And being that this doesn't have any type of anti-caking agent in it, like the seasoned salts you're going to buy at the store, this is something you're going to want to store in a cool, dry place. Keep it away from humidity, moisture, dampness. And just go from there. But that is Mongo's Fire Stall. Recipe number 2 of this video is going to be taco seasoning. I took this directly from Alton Brown off of Good Eats. It's fantastic. I would much rather use this than the packets. The packets that you buy in the store are just a little more easy and convenient, so a lot of times you will see us using those just because it's easy to do when it's there. So, into the recipe. 2 tablespoons of chili powder.
And that's the chili powder.
And why are my mom saying it like that? Because this is the second time we're shooting this. I put in the wrong ingredients. Grabbed the wrong container. 1 tablespoon. 2 tablespoons. 1 tablespoon of cumin. If you want to do yours fresh, that's best, where you take your cumin seed, you put it on the stove and you toast it. 1 tablespoon cumin. 2 teaspoons cornstarch. You would use put the cumin and the coriander on the stove as the whole spice, and you just toast it a little bit. It brings out the oils and it makes it just a fresher flavor. So your cumin and your coriander together. We haven't got to the coriander yet. 2 teaspoons of kosher salts. 1.5 teaspoon of hot smoked paprika. I'm out of hot smoked paprika, so we're going to be using just regular old paprika. It's fine. The hot smoke just gives it a little more kick and a little bit of smokiness to it. That was 1.5 teaspoons. Now 1 teaspoon of coriander. One teaspoon, make sure I get that right. 1 teaspoon. And lastly, 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne. So make sure I get a half of that in there. Now if you want a little bit hotter taco seasoning, use 3/4 teaspoon. If you want to make your neighbors or friends never come back for more, go ahead and put in a whole teaspoon. And you mix this up and you have yourself your homemade, smells so much better and fresher taco seasoning. Now there's more in here. It looks like there's quite a bit more in this bowl than there is in a package, and it's true, there is. This would go to 1 pound of ground beef. You take your beef, you cook it down, you drain it, you add to that 2/3 cup Beef broth or water is fine, or beer, some type of liquid to help dissolve this. And this whole recipe is for 1 pound. And you just pour it in there, you simmer it down until it thickens up, and you're done. But that is homemade taco seasoning, and it is muy bueno. We'll see what part 3 of this video brings. I don't know what it's going to be yet because I just don't know. See you in a few. So the next in our seasoning, it's not really a seasoning, but a homemade ingredient list is going to be brown sugar. This is something, if you don't have brown sugar, you don't need to run out to the store to grab it, as long as you have 2 things: white sugar and molasses. It's really easy to make brown sugar. And it's take 1 cup. We're doing a cookie recipe, and our cookie recipe calls for 1 cup of brown sugar. So we're going to put in 1 cup of white sugar and 1 tablespoon of molasses. And if you want a little bit darker sugar, you add a little more molasses. If you want a little bit lighter brown sugar, don't put in quite a tablespoon. See if you need more or less. Then you just mix it together. Now you can keep mixing this to go into a little bit more consistency of dark or into brown sugar, but if you're just adding brown sugar for the flavor of it, you can just go right like that. And that's all we're doing. That's our 1 cup of brown sugar for this recipe. And if you want to see what cookies these go into, you're gonna have to keep your eyes open. This is gonna be a chocolate chip walnut cookie. I don't know if the cookie recipe is gonna come up before this or after, but it's gonna be up on our channel. So I'm gonna try to get another kitchen substitute on this video and maybe get 3 or 4 or 5 of them, or I'm not sure, but thank you for watching this a bit, and I hope to see you in another one.
Good morning, it's Rocky and Kathy again.
Home sweet home cooking.
Well, we hope it is. Okay, today we're going to make chocolate syrup, like for ice cream or shakes, malts, whatever. And I make it a lot because we use a lot of it. Okay, what you do is 3/4 of a cup of cocoa. And when we lived in Wisconsin, we were far from the store. And this was a lifesaver when you wanted it. 1 1/2 cups of sugar. A dash of salt. And mix it up a little bit. And then we'll throw in a cup of water.
Gradually. Mix it in about thirds probably.
Probably. I dumped it all in at one time too, so.
Yeah, it'll boil out.
That's a third. He learned from his mother. Then when you get this all incorporated, you boil it for 3 minutes. And then you put in what, a teaspoon of vanilla?
2 teaspoons.
2 teaspoons of vanilla. And I have to let it cool, and then I put it in a chocolate container.
Yeah,
And nobody ever knows.
Yeah, one of the leftovers from when you buy chocolate sauce from the store, you just keep your empty and you put this in, and they'll think it's chocolate sauce. They'll think it's Hershey's.
It is good, and it's as good as what they have on the market. And especially if you're out in the country like we were, and it's a long way to the store and you want it or need it, it was a lifesaver. Okay, now we're going to cook it for 3 minutes.
And bring it to a boil and boil it for 3 minutes. Alright, it's come up to a boil, so my mom's got the timer set for 3 minutes, and she's just going to keep stirring it every couple seconds to make sure it doesn't burn or stick.
Or run over.
Or run over. And then when that's done, let's take it off the burner, let it sit and cool down, and I will come back and show us putting it in the bottle.
And we have to put in 2 teaspoons of vanilla
Yep, after it's done boiling.
when we take this off.
Yeah. Once you get it off the, has it been 3 minutes yet?
No.
No, okay.
The time isn't all that important. If you do it a little less, it's going to be runnier. If you do it a little more, it's going to be thicker. So,
However you like to
you're
serve.
really not married to the 3-minute mark.
But it would boil over if you didn't weren't standing here, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, once we get it boiled down, we'll add 2 teaspoons of vanilla, stir that in, and let it cool down, and we'll come back and show you putting it in the bottle. It's been sitting on the stove, cooling down. It's cold enough for me to hold it in my hand, so I'll say cold enough to pour. Now, I'm sure you could do this one-handed, but if you ever see me in the kitchen, oh yeah, look at that. Will this all fit? Will it all fit?
I don't know. Stop. I gotta look. Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Just like
Hershey's.
Just like Hershey's.
And it is.
I can't taste any difference. If I did, I'd say I prefer this. Great over ice cream, make it in shakes, anything that you need chocolate sauce for. Maybe even
with a spoon.
Well, I'm thinking a lot of barbecues call for a little bit of chocolate in it.
Yeah.
So if you want to use this as a little bit of a drizzle instead of like some people rub their meat with molasses before they put their seasoning on, you might even be able to get away with using this to help your seasonings stick to your roast.
If you got any better ideas, let us know.
Yeah, so this will be the fourth part of this video of the DIY seasonings and kitchen creations to, for missing ingredients. As we get some more made up, or if you have homemade chocolate sauce recipes or recipes to mix your own seasoning mixes for chili powders, which is kind of simple. But for your own homemade versions of commonly available seasonings or chocolate sauces or things like that, please share them down below because that's something that I would like to see. And thank you for watching this video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Have a great day.